What's going on, everyone? Aaron here, Clean Cuts Lawn Care. I had put a video out yesterday talking about some changes that we have coming here at Clean Cuts Lawn Care, and I got a message from a young man. His name is Dante Torres, which, man, I wish I had a cool name like Dante Torres. Like, my name's Aaron Blanchard. People are like, hey, what's your name? I'm like, Aaron Blanchard. But this guy's like, Dante Torres. That's pretty damn cool. Congrats to your parents. He said, hey, is there any way you can show us your landscaping contract? I'm trying to put my dad on some game because he's too soft with these customers, and I know that feeling. So here in front of me, I have our 2022 service agreement, and I'm going to show it to you here in a second. Now, I think every year this service agreement will change for everyone, because as you learn something, right, or you go through a situation and you just know, hey, I have to change my service agreement to take care of this problem. One thing that's not on this service agreement that we did have to change mid-season was people who had a lot of trees on their property. There was constantly sticks on their yard that we would have to pick up and move. We went to those people and we said, hey, listen, we have to make a revision here. We have to charge you for picking up these sticks week after week. It's taking up too much time, and we have to be compensated for that time. So you're not going to get it right every year, right? You're just going to keep adding to and restructuring the service agreement every year until you do finally get it right. Also, something that's not on this service agreement, right when we were printing out this service agreement, we were utilizing yard books that is ran through Stripe. Okay, so literally during the time we're printing this out, or making this, we did a bunch of landscaping jobs. It was late March or early April. I'm not 100% certain. All of those jobs paid through yard book, and that money did not hit our bank for weeks, and we were planning on using yard books for everything last year. It took weeks to get those payments. Now, once that happened, I said, this can't happen. There's no way. I felt like it would have gotten better, but I wasn't willing to risk the fact that we're not going to be getting paid for weeks on end after the payment was processed and it was sitting inside of Stripe. So I had to take that off of the billing part and put cash only, and we utilized that for like the first month. And I can tell you there's nothing worse than collecting cash from a customer. Don't mess with it. We didn't want to, but we didn't really have another choice, because I went to the bank and I seen a guy who was a rep for a credit card processor. He gave us this amazing deal for $4.99 a month, so $5 a month, 10 cents per transaction, and 1.9% per, for everything that came through. Well, when he sent us over the paperwork, I seen all these other charges. I contacted him. He said, no, I've already gotten rid of all of that. I said, well, send me over new paperwork without it. He did. We signed it. It was right, exactly as he said. We got our equipment. When you go to activate this stuff, clear your whole day. It took me the entire day, and as I got to the last portion, you have to answer these questions. They're in English. You're not going to understand what they mean. I contacted a CPA that I had previously had a meeting with. He had no clue what these questions meant. He said, you're going to have to go to either a financial advisor or like a financial lawyer, someone who deals with that, and pay them at least for an hour to help you get through these questions. And he had a rough idea what these things meant, but they were even beyond him. So right before I finished setting up the credit card processor, I found out that there was a second company involved that helps with the processing. And even though they weren't on the original paperwork, they sent over their paperwork. They were going to be charging us $49 a month, also a small percentage, or it wasn't a percentage, it was like a 10-cent or 15-cent fee, plus a $300 annual fee. I contacted this guy at the bank. I went off on him. They tried not letting us out of the contract. I said, I didn't sign a contract for this other company. Well, you don't have to sign that contract. He said they're like an attachment company. I don't even know what that means. And we had to fight them to get out of it. And we didn't get, because you have to pay a $100 setup fee and something else. It took several weeks to finally get that money back. I actually had to close down because the next month they took fees out of our bank, even though we had closed it down, and I had to shut that bank account down. It was all messed up. So the first month we did have to collect cash, and then we started using Venmo after that. And then pretty much near the end of the season is when I found out that if you set everything up just through Stripe, I didn't use yard books, just Stripe alone, then everything was much, much faster. So that's where we're moving on now, because we ended up using Venmo pretty much all year, except for that first month, and I hated it. So let's move on to the service agreement. And again, this is a service agreement, not a contract. The customers can opt out at any time, and we can drop them at any time with no financial obligations other than anything you already owe. So let's get on with it. Up top here, sorry for the lighting, man. I know it's, let me see if I can, I don't care if my phone number is shown. Up here, it just has our name, contacts, me and my wife, our phone number, and I'll just read it to you. Service agreement for lawn maintenance, mid-April through mid-November 2022. Down here says what we do. Weekly mowing services include mowing of grass on property, pretty simple. Trimming around structures such as house, garage, trees, etc. Up to garden beds, always remaining 6 to 12 inches away from any and all electrical devices such as air conditioner, pool filters. Edging of all sidewalk, walkway, and driveway edges, which is usually done on a bi-weekly basis to maintain the health of the grass near the edges. I'll tell you the reason I put that in there and I put it that way is because you don't always have to run them edges. You know, you want it to look crisp every single time, but there are going to be weeks where it's just not needed, even though you're going to be servicing the property. So if it still looks nice and crispy and it's not needed, then you're going to save yourself, 5 or 10 minutes on that service for that week. But we put it in there because we don't want someone expecting that this will be done every single week. It will be done every week if needed, but also you have to be careful that you're not separating that edge so far that it's going to become a problem. We did get a customer this year that the reason we got her is because they had separated that edge so far, which she said that it wasn't separated so far, she just didn't like it. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that, but I'm waiting on someone. So they didn't do anything wrong. She just didn't like it. And we immediately dropped that customer because she didn't want us doing the edging at all. She wanted the edging to be overgrown. And we're not going to do that kind of work to where someone sees it and says, oh, Clean Cuts did that and look at that shabby job. I'm not going to do it. So where we were at edging. All right, blowing of all hard surfaces to conclude the cleanup of grass clippings, pretty simple. Note, flower beds, mulch beds, unmaintained beds full of weeds, driveway, sidewalk cracks are not part of our weekly mowing services. Ask about separate service fees. True. Spring and fall property cleanups are separate services and are billed separately. Leaf cleanup is not part of our weekly mowing services. All the time, you're going to have people who don't want to pay you to do a spring or a fall cleanup. They're going to say, Why can't you just blow the leaves in the middle of the yard and bag them up? Well, you could, or you could just mulch what is in the yard. We're not going to take extra time to go around your property, blow the leaves into the yard, go and bag all of these leaves, hauling them off with us, pay to dump those, that time, that gas to the dump, and not be paid for it. So when you first sign on a customer, you better make this known right away, because they are going to expect it. That first year, we didn't have a service agreement that first year. We had several problems with people expecting that we were going to clean up all of their leaves, bag them, and it was just going to be a mowing service. We didn't do it, of course, but yeah, it's important that you have that in there. So, moving on. What we ask for right here. Please clean up your animal's waste prior to our arrival. We do not expect this to be perfect. That's not really possible. But we do ask for a good effort to be made. It is very unsanitary for us to push our equipment through and walk in dog feces. The first time we see that no effort was made to clean up after your pets, we will remind you of the importance of cleaning it up. The second time we see that no effort was made to clean up after your pets, we will automatically bill you a $15 inconvenience fee, and any time after that. Reminder, we do not want your $15. Please make all agreed upon payments on time. Contact us if a problem arises. Please remember that we do attempt to keep your service on the same weekly schedule, but this is a weather-pending service. Your day of service can and will change. Please park your vehicle in a manner that is not in the way and does not prohibit us from gaining full access to your property. If your lawn has been fertilized, please call and let us know so we can wait the appropriate time frame to service your property. We do occasionally film and take pictures of our work on your property. This is the billing part that I told you. That's obviously different now. Sprinklers on your property, yes, no, circle one. Important information that you want us to know about your property, and a line for them to write. They might say, hey, stay away from this area, or this area grows much faster, or I don't like this, or I like that. And then right here, pre-service property damage inspection performed by member of Clean Cuts Lawn Care. Right here, this is where me or Vicky or both of us, whoever's there, goes around the property. We look for any damage on the siding of the houses, around the structure of the house, the garage, anything we can find. Maybe it's a broken sprinkler head, and just maybe an area of their yard that is rutted real bad. Anything that they can blame you for, and you put it on here, right? Then you hand them this, and you make sure you do that before you do any work on their property at all. Then there's a spot for them to sign and date it and give it back to you. Again, this was from 2022. We did have to make revisions to it mid-season, like the sticks, for example, the billing. We had to collect cash for that first month because every which way we went, we ran into a problem. Taking too long and now I've spoken with other people, and they're saying, no, it was just because that was your first few payments, and after that everything comes through very quick. Then we ran into the issue with that other credit card processor, so obviously that changed within the first after the first month. So there's going to be more that goes with this. This doesn't have our snow removal. The snow removal was like a little paragraph that went out, but we want it in the same service agreement as this. This one's laminated. My wife has a laminator, so I always carry that year's service agreement with me laminated. I have had to refer back to this and show a customer, like mainly for the dog animal feces. We've had to drop several customers because of it. And I actually showed them. I said, look, you know, I was supposed to charge you multiple times. I didn't. We warned you. You didn't care. You know, you don't care about us getting your animal's feces on our equipment, stepping in it, getting it onto our truck, taking it to another person's property. That's a big deal. Imagine you're tracking animal feces from one property to the next. All of a sudden, that on the next property, their dog becomes sick, takes it to the vet, and they say, well, it was transferred some way or the other, and they put it together, right? And then they blame you for it. I mean, that could be a problem. I don't think your insurance is going to really want to cover something like that. They're going to say, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, but, you know, call us when you put a rock through a window or you drop a branch on a car, not this. You know, I don't know how they would react. So this 2023 service agreement is going to actually have both our mowing and our snow removal in the same on the same service agreement. What else did I switch about this? Oh, yeah, actually, I'm sorry. We did print out a second service agreement after that first month. And in that service agreement, it states that the customer is not allowed to cancel for the week. Only we can cancel. We had to reissue out service agreements within the first month. And that had the correct billing information, how to pay your bill. And also that one had the sticks on there that we have to charge you picking up sticks. And we had people trying to say, oh, don't come this week. Nope. We had it on there as well that they are not allowed to, they don't dictate whether we do their recurring service or not. It's up to the company. That if they want to call and cancel, they're still going to pay. And of course, that really helped to eliminate that. So, yeah, I actually have the updated service agreement on the iPad. I should have printed it out, but it doesn't matter. This is a general idea. When I do the 2023 service agreement, maybe I'll do an update video to this. So, let me see here. Dante Torres, I hope this helps you out. Maybe show it to your dad. I have watched videos on other service agreements just to get kind of an idea, I guess. Unfortunately, most of those people want to sell you their service agreement. They'll say, you can go onto my website for $100 or $50 and print one out. I don't know, whatever. I just wanted, you know, you asked, so I just figured I'd show you. There is a revised service agreement with that other information I mentioned. I just don't have it on hand right now. I had already had this one laminated, so I just kept it. All right, buddy. I hope it helps you out, man.